Alright, abusia. Yebemo bibia akwaba. Sronkoso aba POG Media so. Mesho se afei na waba dwumadie so a obe like no subscribe na afei so etima share dwumadie no ama afoforo nso nsa atumi aka. Ensem ekoso my Ghana mu a yenso ya depene yese. Brano no. Any political trending stories are make headlines our microphone Ghana mu no. POG Media yebeba abedom yabedwafo ene abusuafo. Nende the ensem and ekoso our political highway so. President-elect John Dramani Mahama na chese. Odi nsem bi ababetu dwa wo chese. Ade a ono John Dramani Mahama. Ewom se ne campaign to no o hyehye eboshe bebre nanso enya ade ono ennemre ya Ghana for ato abama no yi obedi Ghana for hwamoda. Ne bosha o hye ni nyina ade a obedi so pepepe na de okan bia waya chese abusua ama NDC supporters ene concerned Ghanaian citizens omo eni agye papa chese omo chese omo anto omo aba no anto angu na John Dramani Mahama esade to aso obo ken Ვაt0lěň echi a wo che ne se sisi Ghana that economic crisis na ye komu no ne titiru pa na se na fapem na efri ken Ვა t0lěň nanka na wo se na nado pamu ni free no office 110 kra enso na nado esan se na ken Ვაt0lěň ne wo fanti wantimi anye reshuffle ne tentem we anama Ghana yakọ ahohiahiam se ya chese ensam a John Dramani Mahama edutu da no na ensam no ano ehye entimi waste time pra mepese abedwafo bem yakọ akwakuti de ekọ so ni bi na sana ebekọ no mesho so wansem kai bia wo de be hye your comment section wo like share dwumadie no ma foforo so nsa entumi enkabi medamase
for money very careful because you haya yanko bebia ni yanko bebia so ya wa yetie mo.
Reshuffles are important because they enable you to bring fresh pair of hands into your government. And then somebody might not be performing in a certain sector. But if you reshuffle him and move him to another sector, you find that he finds his feet and performs better. So from time to time, a president might look at his cabinet and shift people around or drop some people and bring new people in. It is something that happens all over the world. We were advocating for the reshuffling of the finance minister because from as far back as 2019, we could predict what was going to happen. A finance minister comes into office and all he knows is to borrow on the international capital markets. And not only because that's all he knows, but also he benefits from the borrowing. Conflict of interest. His company, Data Bank, anytime government borrowed, received commissions on the borrowing. And so that was an incentive to borrow. So is it any surprise that in 6 years, this finance minister borrowed $13.5 billion from the Eurobond market? With all the projects and infrastructure I invested in my time in office, the total amount I borrowed from the Eurobond market in the 4 years was $3.5 billion. In 6 years, this minister had borrowed $13.5 billion. And that is what has put us in the situation in which we are. And if even that money had been put into productive use and infrastructure, we will not be sitting here and lamenting about this country. But most of that money went into consumption and into dubious projects that have brought no return to this country. And so if the president had reshuffled him earlier, we would not be in this mess that we are. MPP has very capable people. The only reason the president kept him in that office and refused to shuffle him is because he was his cousin. So you ask me, why haven't I congratulated the president for reshuffling the minister? The distraction has been done. In English, they say it's bolting the stable after the horses have escaped. When the man has finished kaputting the economy, you then remove him, and then you say, I should clap for you. I won't clap. I won't applaud him. He should have done that much earlier. O.Atta should have been out of that office in 2019. EDC.
Inti asam na da hono. Enyoma no bi no wo keka, enyoma akoso o man no mu a na nadwanto o motena mu o mantumi anka no. Ebi no no. Enyoma no bi no no. Oti ase Inti na nadwanto a eni mu a mo kasa no. Minia obi bia wo kasa ena Mahama ye di usi akunya ne so a ena de endien ono ankasa oye campaign akache mesi ya mani sika ne dia amana kodwa so wadi dwa no onimaduane a obenoa tie.
As I conclude, before I take my seat, I want to reiterate some of the other commitments I made to the people of Ghana on the campaign tour. I want you to remember them so that you can hold me accountable when I come into office. I'll keep these promises when I assume office on January 7th, 2025, God willing. We will restore stability and inclusive growth in the economy, and we shall rejuvenate the almost collapsed banks and the financial sector. And this will involve sweeping reforms at the Bank of Ghana because the central bank itself has been a part of creating this problem. I'll create the foundation that will ensure that Ghana will never suffer such a deadly debt management program that threatens to send our elderly people holding government bonds to an early grave and wipe out the investments of the Ghanaian middle class. I'll prioritize local participation in the banking, financial, telecoms, mining, oil and gas, agriculture, manufacturing and construction sectors to generate more jobs for our youth. The Ghanaian young men and women we interact with on a daily basis and their colleagues in other African countries are simply tired of the jobless GDP figures. We will actively attract viable and serious private sector investors to partner government to invest in the productive sectors of this country for more jobs to be created. I will advocate strongly the return of investors who have left because of the poor management of this economy by NPP. This will involve an emphasis on agriculture and agribusiness and will have a strong focus on making Ghanaians own their own micro enterprises. I'll complete abandoned and ongoing projects instead of rushing to start new ones. We will carry out an inventory of all hospitals, schools, electrification, water and road projects which have stalled or been abandoned, and we will make an annual budgetary allocation for their completion. Beyond the economic front, we will also be very strong on governance, because transparent and accountable governance at all levels remains an assured fuel that fires the socio-economic transformation of successful nations. In that regard, we will establish a governance advisory council to help improve political governance, curb corruption, and ensure the respect of human rights. This council will include representatives of civil society organizations, religious leaders, traditional leaders, and ordinary Ghanaians. And amongst others, they will be empowered to release a State of Governance in Ghana report every year. This report will guide government in fine-tuning our good governance record.
Emma Mahama say, Atro, Ahotre, Yare, Epinisie, bi ewo 2025. Me sanka biu, obi bia okodi line so. Na o share say, o share a Japadia document nim. na wotu aba editia NPP ene Bawumia ne napo na ya ankoda nsori ama napo ama meye vice president no me se wo se yare bi ne da wo ni wabusuafo eso a aye yare kwanko a me se 2025 enye enmonyam hye enye odie afi enye nsira afi enye enkoso nkunimdie afi emfamam esanse wadi atro so nkunim na atro bi a ewo wabrabo mu no atro bi a yetwa ede agu so no mi gina John Dramani Mahama anemu ene mia nkasam anemu ene L0tt media crew anemu catch you say senia wa ma yaw anye Ghana ni ya no unhu yaw ewo wabusuamu unhu yaw ewo ma abrabom unhu yaw ewo onkokurabom ewo omrewabom empo wanum aduboni mpo no senia ye nua ye wofa ya saponto woni nwum se obenum aduboni na nso mu aboatia be frakaw na nso so se poison be ko mu no enyeyi esanse wama wabrabo no a ewie 2024 no the last month no wa magana meko anko Ghana ni a na se woti kru a meko anko ni a wonso meko no ebi nko wani na emum no yesre yedie na de mawo yesre yedie de mawo esanse wa ma animonyam asa be kata Ghana so bio te said ye obi kan yan se empo Mahama ányehwe amfa maya Ghana enye animonyam foforo bio ena Ghana asaye tenten na menuanom obeye tenten ewo mfefo nyinaa mu obeye tenten cause Ghana pray for the
abusia enti nsɛm no mu bi ene ekokoti na kyese eye president elect John Dramani Mahama ode ne nsɛm atudwa wɔtwe sɛ eye Ken Ofowiata ena abɔ Ghana form na nanado eye mistake enti no tama nanado dankwa Akuffo Addo eye reshuffle no wan congratulate nanado no esan sɛ na nanado na aye too late na Ken Ofowiata abɔ ɔman form awie sika Ken Ofowiata awia ne kyese nneoma akoso ɛwɔ Ghana under eye Akuffo Addo government no na ani enyan na ɔno ɔman pani dada John Dramani Mahama not workra na kyese bi se onkom bonra Jubilee House na kyese ombobobo mo asuma abusua ensama John Dramani Mahama ade tudwa no na ensam no ano edene na osade to aso na kyese o kyese eyade a ono yesuon in on the 7th of January wo ye MPP ni na wa wies kanko ade a menye wa adwen se tobe bi na NDC for no omo ye na omo ani bresem obeko jail omo be prosecute no mo a jail like wa sika bi afum ababedi ho bia ene open papa mu a return is kano enye sade a embra no enu ubedi Ghana enu ubedi a kyese ensem na ode to aso no na ensem no eye heat etima pesa beja for sabe me akoni akwakuti ensem a eye John Dramani Mahama ede to aso
past 8 years Ghana bre adwuma na nkebe fa onua bi ewa achiase jute factory Mahama ni India 4 years omusi a eka amuremu no wo o vote ba kuntino di adwuma ba besi Ghana ni ana Ghana mrantene mabawa enim you see the John Mahama na mubehunu no oye new John Mahama oye new John Mahama enye so oye new say ne honam sunu na ye new Mahama ebe surprise Ghana menia Mahama enye so be surprise Ghana o ye Ghana for no ya na ya surprise ye ho ne nipa bia so o ma positive surprises unya positive results diminia wa na wodua waburu na eburo no a wodi adwumaden ene serie adwempa ekodua ye no eburo ni bebo na obenya bi ne bebuso na obema me biadi. I am telling you. Yatna ha ya kan semba mu nyini. Ene de minim se ye kan se Mahama beba. Na mi Nick Mahama na sia 1-on-1. Ewo program ase. Na me katchen se ye mrante ne maba awa ye wo Ghana no ye wogidie wo mu. Na odi ehye bo keke se o maye ni entutu nka yensan eno se me shemu bo se meye die betumi o se obeye die obetumi bia dia se yensu enunyam beye die metu nya se we ni onyam ewo mahi ni eyimu o no sa anyum no ena makofa besimu no Timia Mahama is not coming with any surprises. Surprise na Mahama de bano eno na wa wodi amagana no wakodua ebro ena wodi ebro pa na asefom ena wodi wa prepare wunsuo enu bibia o fertilizer o weeding machines or harvesting machines into why yes arrangement we are enkotna osofo bi na ase ema osofo no meka se o afidade ubetwa ebro bibiri wankasa why arrangement yedinya ebro bibiri no ehwie. I am telling you name no the fact say when bia no ญ้ņɖrɛ say odi share from no an epie eno sa kasa ni bi na Mahama kasa say enkofo no mo bedo asase ne so no oma beye nkwasiade pii wo ho ye de grupa be shefom na enso so enkoye mre maye falasa ede na obeye okwani de obeye ne se wahu se asase ne nye so tiase o kan se asase wan ka se enkofo no asase ni nti mintumi nyo blemu omo. He is only reiterating the fact ade ye no kure na ewo hono no enkofo no omo aseye ade no nenso meye nie betumi and a proof of say obeye du betumi no in the history of Ghana, me catch them once me bo video bi. Me o series of videos bebre a me ankasa nsem o maka e dia for Mahama ne ne ndisi abanya aba no. A ye di o mu besi so ente bia no. Me won sempi amaka me kotwitwa be catch them a mo be kase na ayese de me sedem a na me hu bibia o mirror mu. Once me be ka bi kire mu. Be ka bi kire mu. Na me catch say 2025 Mahama besamba na sa journalist no a omo be di atro be kasa basa edugu Mahama hono na me catch Joyce Bawa Muktari say wo enimgu ase ne ka Mahama wo ye ne busuani e ka wo first into bi bia wo di atro entoma ba be kata Mahama so no court dan si ho yedini be wuram ti se de ni nua Ibrahim Mahama edi Manase Azori awoni court no afedie na opa acho se asem bia o tro se ni book mu no enye no krenti no obe correct mistakes no ya amfuna anko court na nko wagya sa phrase no sa statement no e wo book mu na ba be ye a stupid history na abeda ho 10 years to come 10 years to come na enkoda ba be kase ye benya omanpanyi bia oton bank anase ni nia koje bisia o bank e ma bank no e boka on se Mahama ba power no a amanfo mu di atro good Ibrahim Mahama hono ma te se yese bank fo bi e pa Ibrahim Mahama achew o pa na chew say 8 years when timi emu nyanza ngopa na chew yese Ibrahim Mahama no fa mo politics na mo ye no Ghana hono ana mu fi say ni nua be president nti no wuska se ni nua be president no wuska ni nua fi aban mu no 8 years ni nua fi aban mu no and we see a mega factory obi ani bi e wo Ghana ho cement factory muasikafo a omotototo Cartoon Network toys I say be ene madam ehunhunu amamfo eji Songo land ono nko a efun Ghana asase okobubu trade fair egu ye ese ՌemoNACHA ne machines or the printing ni ade because onim say ՌemoNACHA no or tilted towards NDC intino. Say ՌemoNACHA eye year or discover support NDC ni Mahama campaign intino. Yan crashes Akuffo no. Mo ye we nyina no. Won.
Alright, Rebusia, into winning so much as a course so our political hiring such as John Dramani Mahama, a president elect or they just any ginsem about the 2 what you say, or no a year 24-hour economy. The policies be or the 2 the manifesto and I say end this manifesto mubia and yadia or no John Dramani Mahama and them ya Ghana for man or Becca say untimi ya na sisi Kenny Juana so obema excuse be a name dan the policies nina or be implement ama Ghana ni bia eni age na Ghana ni bia hu se ono John Dramani Mahama onyo trofo te se sebi na nado dan kwa Akuffo do ne NPP ama yoku no no oka oye a na se o se bo eye ken ofowiata wo twe se ken ofowiata eye nipa bia ono na agba Ghana from isan say ono finance minister ono anase finance ministry ono ebra papa de bono ono na nyaade a ehwe ani ache se ensem a John Dramani Mahama ede betu dwan na ensem no ano eden enti abushia me de mbesia no madam asesem aje penie emi ekotie ensem a ekoso e political hiring so aha POG Media any political trending stories are make headlines and I say ebe make waves my konkron Ghana mu no POG Media de ye the update ni nyina ebe ba bedom eye ya bedwafo medamase